I've been making solid progress, but it's time to focus and put some final touches on this application. There's two major pieces missing: the ability to view magazines and delete an individual magazine. In some ways, the two pieces of functionality are very similar, in that they both require something to get an issue by ID, then some kind of action on a loaded model. I'm going to start by adding links to view and delete from the magazine list. Edit the magazine controller, and at the top of the index function, add a load helper to load the URL helper. This load helper URL. It would be helpful to see whether a magazine has a cover associated with it, so at the end of the for each loop, let's add a column with a simple Y or N if there's a cover. Issue underscore cover, switch yes or no. I'm going to use the anchor helper function to generate links based on the local URL as a final column in the magazine table. I'll make links to both view and edit. The first argument of anchor is the path, which will be magazine/view, and then I'm going to pass it the issue underscore ID. The second is the text, view. I'll separate them with a simple pipe. Anchor, magazine, delete, and then add the issue ID, then delete. Save the controller, then switch to the magazine's view. Add the additional headings, cover and actions. Cover, actions. Save the view, then let's take a look at the browser. Refresh the magazines list, and it looks a little bit more functional. Cool, I can see whether or not a cover is associated with the magazine now, and there's links to delete and view. Let's make those functional. Switch back to the IDE. Go back to the magazine controller. I'm going to start with a new method for view. Public function view. It'll take one argument, the issue ID. Add documentation, view a magazine. The type will be an integer. The routing system will automatically pass the argument, so I don't need to make any additional changes on that side. I'll start by loading the HTML helper. I'll need it in a moment. This load helper HTML. Then I'll load the header itself. This load view bootstrap/header. Then the models for issue and publication. This load model, pass it an array containing issue, comma, publication. I'm going to try to load an issue by its ID. Issue equals new issue. Then issue, load, issue ID. If an issue can't be loaded, show a 404 error using one of the common functions, show underscore 404, which will do just that and exit. If not, issue ID, show 404. Otherwise, we have an issue, so load the publication. Publication equals new publication, then publication load, the issue publication ID. I'm going to pass both to the magazine view created earlier. This load view magazine, pass in an array with a key issue and a publication. Finally, show the footer. I'm going to copy the header, make a small change, footer. Save the controller, then edit the magazine view. Right before the closing div, I'm going to add some logic. PHP, if issue has an issue cover, and we'll close the PHP, show a div with class cover. Close the div, indent, PHP. I'm going to use a function from the HTML helper called image, which will generate an image tag based on a path. So echo image upload slash dot and then issue cover. Make sure the if is closed out and save. I'm going to switch to the browser to see the view in action. Click View on the item with the cover. Neat, the cover is now rendered. Now to clean it up a bit, I'll implement the last missing functionality, a delete. Go back to the magazine controller. Start a new method called delete. Public function delete, which takes one argument, an issue ID. Always remember the documentation. Delete a magazine, which takes an integer. I don't need any helpers, so I'll just start off with loading the header. This load view bootstrap header. Then the model for the issue only. This load model array issue. Instantiate a new issue equals new issue, and try to load it. Issue load issue ID. Again, if the issue can't be found, show a 404. Otherwise, delete the issue using the common method delete. Issue delete. Show a success message by using a new view, magazine deleted, which I'll create in just a moment, passing just the issue ID. This load view magazine deleted. An array containing issue ID. Finally, show the footer. Save the controller, then create a new view named magazine deleted. This is going to be a one-liner. Div class equals alert dash success. Magazine number, then PHP echo HTML escape issue ID. Close that out, and then the verb, which will be deleted. Save the new view, and let's test it. From the browser, go back to the list of magazines and delete the first one without a cover. I get a message that the magazine number 1 was deleted. If I go to the home screen, there's one less magazine to show. That wraps up the base functionality for the magazine catalog system. In this chapter, I discussed how to use a helper to perform tasks, then demonstrated how to use the form helper to save a lot of time by generating HTML forms. I then delved into uploading images using the file uploading class, then finally, viewed and deleted magazines. That's a lot of functionality that I've covered throughout this course. So, where to go from here?